What's up, guys? We are back, and I'm looking at some more NBA plays today over on PrizePicks. We have now cashed in back-to-back-to-back videos. That is 9 straight winners in these free play videos. Let's keep cashing, make it a 12-0 run. We've been on fire in these videos, and you guys hit the like goal in yesterday's video, which is why we have 3 plays today. If you guys want a third play in tomorrow's video also, be sure to leave a like on this video here, because if we get to 175 likes, I will drop a third play tomorrow also. And while you're down and leaving a like, you may as well subscribe with those notifications on also. So we're going to get to these free plays in just a second. Before we do so, don't miss out on checking out the DubClub. In the DubClub, you can get all of my plays sent to you right now with a 2-day free trial. There's an option on there for that trial, or you could join for the next month for only $15, which would be $20 off your next month. But in the DubClub, you get not only my plays sent to you, but also access to the Discord, where you can get plays from my contributors here, and Asmi's, Emo, and Props. All these guys do great work, cashing pretty much day after day. And you'll see access to my community chats too. You can talk to me and other members about plays or whatever's going on. And all that though is included, and I haven't talked about my performance yet. This year, we are over 84 units of profit in the NBA, over 142.5 units of profit between the NBA and the NHL. To put that into perspective, if you have $50 on each play, you'll be over $7,000 of profit this season. So we're looking to stay cashing. I haven't even mentioned this yet, but we actually had a complete sweep yesterday over in the DubClub. Every single play was able to cash besides the MLB correlation, which are just long shot entries essentially. So all the main plays were able to cash yesterday in the DubClub. So we had a sweep. Don't miss out getting on another sweep today over in the DubClub, hopefully with that 2-day free trial. With all that out of the way, let's get to these free plays. Be sure that you play responsibly and at your own risk. Leave a like on this video and subscribe. Make sure you have those notifications on so that we can get in before these lines get bumped or get removed. Let's get to these plays. The first play I like on the PrizePicks board for tonight's slate is going to be over in the Brooklyn Nets game, and a guy you're probably not really thinking too much about today. It's going to be Reece Beekman here, over 4.5 assists against the Atlanta Hawks tonight. Really interesting spot. He's over in both of his last 2 games with 5 and 10 assists, as you can see there. And like I said, it's a really interesting spot because he has been over this in only 3 out of 34 games this year, which is about 9%. However, he is over in back-to-back games, which is important because D'Angelo Russell is out yet again today. In these last 2 games, he's had 8 and 14 potential assists in some really good minutes at 36 and 31 minutes. So that's a very good sign there. He's only cashed one other time this year, which came against the Pistons with about 24 minutes. He's had a couple of games where he saw good minutes, but it's obviously a much different spot because now he's in a much bigger role with just more potential assists because of D'Angelo Russell being out. So I think it's putting him in a really promising spot here also because you get a really good matchup for him here against the Atlanta Hawks. They were really good in terms of assists allowed per game at 24th. Point guards are in 18th at 8.7 per game. And with Russell being out, he's actually been in the starting lineup. So I think this game should hopefully stay a little bit close and competitive. But even like last time we lost by like 11 points, he still played a really solid, 36 minutes. But in this game here, he had a tougher matchup against Toronto, still had 5 assists in that game. But then you have a good matchup here against the Pelicans. And again, Atlanta is also a pretty good matchup for him, at least on paper, like the Pelicans were. He had 14 potential assists with 10 official assists. So I think we should be seeing, hopefully around 6 assists for Beekman today. That'd be very, very nice. Opposing point guards against them have been good for the most part, especially guys who have close to this line for the most part. Like you have Zaya Collier here with 12 assists. You do have like D'Lon Wright here missing his line, but you still have guys like Cameron Payne and Dinwiddie flying over those lines. Blanton was able to have 5 against them. So I think it's overall a pretty solid matchup for him, both on paper and past history. I like his potential assists the last 2 games. It's obviously not a whole lot of data to go off of, but I still think this one's a pretty good spot that the books really have not adjusted to quite as much right now. So I really like the spot here for Reece Beekman over 4.5 assists as my first play for today's. Before we get to my next play, if you are not already on Sleeper, it is in my opinion the best DFS app out there right now because of their promos for all users that are pretty much every single day on this app and their new user offers. If you are a new user to Sleeper, it's available in most states, 18 years and older. If you use my promo code DOMG, you get 2 promos. You get a free pick on the board, a free square, and you also get a play $5, get $55 promo also. So it's a bunch of different offers that you get using promo code DOMG when you do sign up. They also have promos all the time on this app, usually afternoon, so which is why, it's not on the board right now at the time it's recording. We get discounts and boosts pretty much every single day on this app, and they can also offer a better payout than an app like PrizePicks. For example, if you like Thompson and Giannis tonight, it actually pays out about a 3.29x right there, as you can see on Sleeper, compared to maybe just a 3x over on PrizePicks. So this app is awesome. Get it for yourself in my description and use that promo code DOMG. Getting to my second of 3 plays here, we're going to head over to stay in the NBA here. We'll go with the next NBA play here. We're going to go with Dyson Daniels here, over 2.5 assists if you want to take the Goblin, or I also like his rebounds and assists at 10.5. But the main play here I liked is a 2.5 assists for obvious reasons. It's a much lower line and less risky option, I would say. But if you just hate Green Goblins, I know there's a lot of people who like them and a lot of people who don't like them. It just is kind of 50-50. If you absolutely hate it, I don't hate the 10.5 rebounds and assists. I think that's also a pretty good spot, but 2.5 assists is the play that I'm going to go with here in this video, but I'll talk a little bit about both. Daniels has had at least 3 assists in 81% of games. Huge increase compared to his normal line at 4.5 being only 41%. So obviously there's a little bit of a disconnect there, but you see Daniels has had at least 3 assists in 81% of games this year. And this is a pretty good matchup now against Brooklyn, who ranks 17th in assists allowed per game at 26.9. And there's a couple injuries to this team, though, that makes this a little bit better for him. Like, of course, Jalen Johnson being out. You can even factor in Clint Capella being out, Larry Nance being out, a couple of those guys. But just without Jalen Johnson this year, he's over in 90% of games. In wins this year, you can see he's been over in every single game winning. They win by at least 13 points. It is a 13-point spread. So I'm not super worried about the blowout there. But in games without Jalen Johnson and the Hawks win, he's over in all but one game, which happened in a tough matchup here against Miami. So a little bit of a tougher one there. They also only scored 98 points in that game. Neither team scored over 100 points. So that was just kind of an outlier game there. This one should have a decent amount of points. So Dyson Daniels is in a pretty good spot. Obviously, his first 3 assists. It's a Green Goblin. It is a bit of a lower payout, but I still like it. But if you want to look at the rebounds and assists here, he's been over in 46% of games. And if you look at games where they are in wins, for example, he's been pretty good. Without Jalen Johnson being there, you can see he's over in 63% of games. And you can, of course, adjust his minutes too if you wanted to where he plays like at least 30 plus minutes, for example. But all these misses too, which kind of just bring this hit rate down, are all the way early in the year. Like if you go to the last 20 games, the hit rate gets a lot better at 12 out of 20 when he does play those 30 plus minutes. And again, you can factor in wins if you wanted to also, where he's still been pretty good. And he did just play them less than a month ago, where he had 13 against them. He had 6 rebounds and 7 assists and also played 34 minutes in that game. This one was all the way back earlier in the year, so it was a much different spot, of course. And I believe Jalen Johnson was likely playing in that game, which obviously just impacts that one a ton. But I believe he was without Jalen Johnson in this game. We actually found out for sure here. So you can see here, without Jalen Johnson this year, he had 13 against them. And this was about less than a month ago. So I think that Dyson Daniels is in a great spot here for both his assists and his rebounds and assists. But it's up to you which one you want to take. I prefer the 2.5 assists, but it's up to you at the end of the day. We're going to get to my third play here, which is going to be an MLB play. Our MLB play was a sweat-free winner yesterday in Jack Flaherty. He was able to cash in only 3 innings. We're hopefully going to have another one of those today because I like Jesus Luzardo here over his strikeouts at 4.5. Again, if you guys want a third play tomorrow, be sure to leave a like on this video here. 175, now to drop a third play tomorrow also. Jesus Luzardo, though, you can see he's had at least 5 strikeouts in both games this year with 11 and 8. Last year was a little bit worse. He was only over in 5 out of 12 games. But all these games, he barely threw 5 innings, I would say, for a lot of those games. And this year, of course, he's had a lot better games where he threw like 5 innings and 7 innings in these 2 games here. What I love a lot here, though, is the history for some of these Atlanta guys against Luzardo in the past and just how much they kind of strike out against him here. So you can see on the right side of the screen here that some of these guys have a really high strikeout percentage against him, like Ozuna with a 27%, Arcia here with a 33%, Olsen with a 33%, and Austin Riley with a 30%. You know, guys like Michael Harris with a 50% right there. He's just very, very bad against Luzardo. At least he has been in the past. And these guys also like to strike out quite a bit here against a slider, which is one of his most thrown pitches at about 29.2%. Some of the guys here like Sean Murphy, 35% there. You have like Matt Olson with 32%, Riley with a nearly 30%. So overall, I think it's just a really good spot for him to have at least 5 here. I also like the over 5.5. I would not personally play the 6 on PrizePicks. I don't like that one as much. But at the end of the day, I think 5 is just too low of a line here for Luzardo. I think it's a spot that he can crush. So give me the over here for Luzardo and his 4.5 strikeouts. So those are my plays in this video. I personally would not pair all 3 of these together today because the payout is just really low. Basically due to Dyson Daniels, I would say. But if you were to pair like Beekman, a main play, and then Daniels together, it's a little bit better. Or like Beekman, a main square, and then Luzardo together, it's a lot better. But all 3 together just kind of is a really low payout today, unfortunately. But the slates are really, really rough. It's already noon at the time of recording. Just want to get a view out for you guys, get you guys some free plays. But I love all these spots today, and we are, of course, on a 9-0 run, looking to make it 12-0. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. But we're not done because we have some more free plays for you. And one last reminder here to join the DubClub. Don't miss out. There's a 2-day free trial linked in my description, or you can join the next month for only $15. Like I said, come join the Discord. You get access to my contributors chat, or my contributors, and then also the community chat. And we've been crushing this year in the NBA and the NHL. So hopefully we have some more NHL plays up today over on the DubClub. Gotta check the slate out. I have not yet researched it, but we've usually been crushing the NHL, man. We're actually pretty hot right now in the NHL when there is some value. Here's more free plays from the Daily Grind tool. This tool here shows off the best fit to value plays on an app like PrizePicks or Underdog. Right now on PrizePicks, they have some League of Legends value, some Dota 2 value you can see on the board. There's some MLB plays right now and Bailey Ober under strikeouts, for example. And if you want to find like a power play on PrizePicks, it's super easy to do. You click on plus CV plays and you filter down to a 2-pick power play or simply a 5-pick or a 6-pick flex. It's an awesome tool. Get it for yourself in my description by clicking on the fancy bundle and scrolling down. Be sure to use promo code DOMG. There's another tool sold separately from the same guys, though sold separately, called the ASIP Generator. This tool is over 2,000 units of profit since last year, and there are 14 slips currently on the board. It just gives you slips right to your phone or your computer, wherever you're looking at this tool on. Like right now, they love Ryan Feltner here over earned runs. They love some League of Legends value here, also some NBA right now, and Tobias Harris under first quarter points. Has a massive profit margin right now of 11.49%. This is an awesome tool. Get it for yourself from my description by clicking on the slip generator and then scrolling down and using promo code DOMG. Thank you for watching us. So for the next video, best of luck. If you want to make over $5,000 of profit on PrizePicks, you can watch this video right here.